Hey everyone, hopefully this is a nice quick intro to 3D modeling, and I'm just going to take this image from my Google Classroom post, put it in Fusion, and show you all how to trace it all out and make a 3D model of it. So I had a video of this previously, but it was a little brief, and now I'm back up and running with a better recording situation here. Hopefully y'all can hear me as I move my microphone closer. I'm going to download this image. First, you have to open it in a new window in order to download anything from a Google Classroom post. So if I attach something here, you have to know how to number one. Easiest way to do it is to just right click on an object like a picture or a video, right click on it, open it in a new tab or a window, and then you can see this download option there to download it to your computer. One more quick note while I'm here. I'm logged in and doing this from home. If you have a regular computer at home with Windows on it, you can, in Windows or Mac computers, you can go to the Autodesk website, sign in with your school account online. You have to be signed into Chrome online, signed into Autodesk online, and that will manage your account licensing to be able to launch Fusion wherever you go, if you want to install it yourself and use it anywhere. So without further ado, you're going to click Canvas. You're going to insert this from your computer. Okay. So, sorry about the puppers crying for attention. My dog is behind me. All right. So when you go to insert what's called a canvas, aka picture from wherever, it doesn't give you a dimension option. It's a little funny. So you zoom in, it's got all these control options. So you can just grab this corner and or grab this blue corner here and pull and push. I'm going to let my dog outside real quick. Hang on. Right then. So my dog is trained to ring bells when she wants to go outside, which is great. Actually, I wonder if this is dimensionally, which I'm going to say type in 4 when you see that number. And I think I just learned something on the go here. This program is pretty deep. When you have a canvas, you can right click and you can edit the canvas and it'll bring up this menu again. It's got the ability to flip pictures in both directions, move it with this box anywhere, pull it with these arrows, scale it with this corner. What I didn't realize is if you scale it, if you grab it from the corner and put the measurement in as it goes, you should have the right measurement. And I'm going to double check that by way of clicking on top of this, dragging a line through it, and see, no, it didn't actually scale it to the size that I wanted. I thought it was going to be 4 inches. It's 2 3/4 inches, which is actually fine for the size. If you do what I just did as we're going here, you don't have to undo anything. That size is fine for our work purposes. But ultimately, like if you do want to get an exact 3D printed dimensioned canvas or picture here, this is what you'd have to do: is you pull a line across it with a measurement on that line. You can see it's 2.7 inches. You could then right click, edit the canvas, and make this bigger until you get the size that you want it, if you need to. This is a scaling. This would be the scale plane option. So what this is doing is I just made it 1.685 times the size it was before I started scaling it. So that's what scaling means. It's just enlarging it however many times its original size. when you're setting these up. But again, what you want to do is after you're going into sketches, I already created a sketch. You don't want to have more than one sketch ever. If you can keep that in mind, it's super helpful. You should, in this case, drawing something like this, you should only have one sketch going on. But I just created a sketch. I'll pull a measurement across this. Now it's a little over 4 inches, but that's what I was looking for, is about a 4-inch diameter for this overall size. So it's relatively large in design size if we were to 3D print it. So, okay. And this is how you get set up to make something, model something out relatively easily once you understand how to use all of these drawing tools. It takes practice. You have to remember, like back in the days of drawing, this was done pencil and paper. Anything that required drawing was done, and it was super time consuming. You make mistakes, you have to erase things and deal with, like, you get one shot on one piece of paper, and if you make a big mistake, then you got to throw the whole thing away and start over again. Here you can digitally undo what you're dealing with. So I'm just gonna give you some quick intro steps here. All right. Number one, actually, I'm going to go over to this 3-point circle tool. Let's see these circles. There's 5 options. 3-point is my favorite, just because you can click anywhere around the circle on 3 points of it. And there you go, circle's drawn. And what you could do is just learn real quick. The canvas, you can turn this off and on so you can see what's going on. You can see anything that's completely outlined. And like a circle is a complete circle, so it's filled with blue because it's complete. Sorry, my dog just pushed the door open, so I have to go close it. Right then. Okay. Next. I'm going to draw, because of this style of work. Okay, backing up a little bit. Zooming, if you don't have your zoom controls set the right way, this program can make you absolutely Looney Tunes. So I'm just going to double check that everybody watching the video has this reverse zoom direction check mark in the preferences menu. You should be able to just go preferences, scroll down just a little bit, and this should be checked and okayed, so you're zooming the right way. Then you're using the mouse wheel, pushing it down, clicking, holding to slide things around, so you can control the screen view here. And then I'm going to use rectangles. What I want to do is just align myself to where the corner of this would be. Click, drag, and get it right down here. Set up this first one as perfect as I can get it, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to click now. Modify menu has these. Fillet is a round over, chamfer is a beveled cut. And there's all these different things you can do, and that's what you got to do, is take the time to actually learn some of this stuff so you can comfortably do jobs like this and not ride the struggle bus. It's just coincidence that the size of this is perfect. You can grab this blue arrow here and pull and push that. I'm not going to move it because it's just right. You can also type in the measurement, but I'm going to hit enter. All right. And then I'm going to do another just rectangle in here to finish this. Note, when you're drawing with anything, and if you need to move around the screen, you just press the mouse wheel down. You just let everything go, press the mouse wheel down, and it won't interfere if you drag stuff around. So you got a perfect placement there on that. Yes, you can copy and paste. That's why I'm starting here, number 1. I'm going to hit escape to undo what I just did because I didn't mean to have a drawing tool selected. You have to hit escape to have nothing selected, and then you can drag over an object. It'll highlight everything. Right click, copy, right click, paste. And what it does is it pastes it right on top of where it is. I want to grab this arrow in this case and just directly slide it. That way it's not going up or down. Again, I can let go of whatever I'm dealing with. All your movements on the screen, whether you're zooming in and out or pressing the mouse wheel down and dragging, you can do all of that and it won't interrupt you with whatever you have going on. I gotta zoom in a little bit closer. Now, I just did what I said I wasn't going to do, but it wasn't going exactly where I wanted it to. Okay. Now what you're going to do is hit OK when you're done with all that stuff. There's definitely ways that you can make this. Like I can click this and that, and it's going to lock them horizontally. I can go collinear and make sure that these two, there it goes. I was able to just pull them by using constraints. These are all geometry tools that help you align and move things perfectly. So I use this thing called collinear, which means that this and this are collinear, sharing the same line in space. All right. Again, I want to turn off this canvas here so you can see that's what I've got so far. All of these constraints, if you click this check mark over here in the sketch palette menu, I leave this open when I'm training because it usually doesn't get in my way. But you got to know how to like snap. If you have things locking to the snap points or the grid, you can click this check mark where it says snap and it won't snap to other things that you don't mean to have things snap to. I'm going to turn the canvas here back on. Ooh. Why is my visibility? There it goes. I don't know why. I was trying to turn it on there and it wasn't working. Anyway, all right. So I'm working what looks like a little bit out of order, but there's a reason for it because I want you to see different tools real quick. I want to draw this next letter here. If you hover over an object and you want to align something to something you've already drawn, all you've got to do is hover your mouse over it and it's going to pick up on that point. And again, what I'll do is on this P, I will go and square it off and not try and make those rounds at the beginning because that's way too difficult. And I want to come up to the same point or elevation as that other corner that I just made. So I mouse over it. I don't really care about the angle so much as I want those points at the same place in space. Go here. You must make sure that you connect your dots. If you rush and you don't completely close those circles, you're going to get to a point where you're trying to go 3D and it's not going to work. So that's why I'm patiently talking about the importance of this. I also try and do things in a logical sequence. Not that, sorry. Rectangle in here. Like do all of the rectangle work first. And if like in a case like this, you have a bunch of outlines. I mean, it's pretty simple to just sit here and click these corners, but you spend a lot more time going back in here and modifying them when you go like, rather than doing all of the squared work and then going back and putting these rounds in, that ends up saving you a lot of time. It's up to you. Just thinking out loud. All right, now let's save you guys some time with this star work down here. I'm going to jump around just because there's simple things that I can help you with. You got to zoom in. I see people trying to figure this out from a distance, and it just doesn't work. If you're not zoomed in and comfortable with the motion controls, everything becomes difficult. This I'm spending a little bit extra time on because I'm going to copy and paste it and make all 3 stars here. Okay. Yeah, don't do the internal lines when you're doing these stars. Just the outline is perfect. Keep turning that on and off to check my work again. Escape is going to deselect all of your tools so you can drag over. I want to do this without selecting my circle. This is a tricky grab because if you drag in the wrong way and you select something like else, you have to hold control down and deselect it. And that gets a little fumbly sometimes. Copy. Again, paste is going to put it right on top of where it's going. In this case, I'm just going to grab it by the box. See, I missed some of my stuff when I went to do the copy. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to undo this. Alexa, turn the alarm off. We got morning alarms going off here. Select this. Hold control down and deselect that. Actually, these didn't select either entirely. Control. I guess we'll have to do it that way. Yeah. If you hold down control, you can select individual lines to do the copy and paste. I didn't have everything before. And they're not exactly the same size stars, which is fine. Hit enter. I want to right click and hit paste one more time. Again, doesn't affect anything when you're moving stuff around the screen. Enter. We'll finish that operation. This is an important one. This next star here, because you're going to see some offset lines with this. I'm going to just do the outside of this star. Daisy, my dog. Okay, I'm going to turn my canvas view off here. Watch this. Offset tool. Super important, helpful tool to understand how to use. Actually, yeah, this is all connected, so it's going to do it just like this. Watch. If you click offset and you want to make offset lines, it's going to make a copy of something. You can go inside or outside of offsets. So, oh my goodness, my puppy is being a puppy. So watch, I have 1, 2, 3 of the identical shaped stars here. You can click offset, hit it, hit enter, click offset, click the star. What's going on here? It's not doing it. I'm going to offset the outside one again. It doesn't want to offset the offset. Enter. So that's how fast you can make all of that line work happen with offsets. All right, so like the modification tools, offsets, things like cut. If you need to trim little line segments, you can trim little line segments. I'm going to turn the canvas back on. and show you. This is not a perfect arc. All right. So a regular arc, actually, it might be a perfect arc. I just want to double check. If I click 3-point arc and I pull this, oh, okay. All right. Generally, things are, if you see stuff that's made with a computer program, your tools could usually match up with somebody made on a computer program. All right. So arcs, there's this, and then there's also this thing called a conic curve. If you have an irregular, and if it's not actually an arc or a segment of a circle, you can use something called that conic curve. But I'm going to use the 3-point arc here again. To bend an arc in place and match this up. See, it might not be a perfect arc. I can't get it to line up. So this is what I'm talking about, actually. I'll do this with I'm hitting escape. It's going to undo that last move that I just made. And I'm going to go back, create, conic curve. And it works like a 3-point arc, but it can bend in a regular curve. So, see, that doesn't line up well either. So I'm going to hit escape. And this is what you have to do, is make your own executive decisions and trial and error till you're satisfied with your results here. Oh, dog. So I'm just going to leave it. If you don't line up to the exact drawing, it doesn't matter. But again, I like to do, like if I'm working on arcs, I have to make straight lines and finish this, but I like to do them all together. My dog is not happy that I'm not giving her attention right now. If I'm in my classroom, there's a big heater making noise. If I'm at home, there's a puppy. You can have some sort of random background noise in any of my videos based on where I can do this stuff from. And then I will complete these like so. All right, again, in my habits, always go back and double check my work to make sure everything is done as I go, because it takes very little energy to do this now. I don't know. Right. So let me get into the extrude process. When you finish the sketch, this is important too, as far as just saving and everything else. You're going to save this thing as troops. If you need to go back and work on your sketch, you're just double clicking and going and opening this sketch up by clicking twice on it really quickly. You finish it up here. You click extrude. All right. I'm just going to select some of the objects. Actually, in a case like this, most of this you'd want to come up to the same height with. Something like this would be maybe like that. So holding shift down and rotating this thing around is what's going to allow you to see what's really going on in 3D. That 0.2 inch dimension is really good for what we're about to do here. What's going to happen is as soon as you use a sketch, now I need to make the circle. If you use a sketch, make a 3D object out of it, it's going to disappear when you use it. But you can just turn the visibility back on here and then hit extrude again, and then what you got to do is type in a negative number if you want it to go backwards. I'm going to go negative 0.2. And actually, I want to drag across everything here so it selects all of it. Whoop. Watch this. extrude. Select everything in the whole drawing. I'm going to go distance -0.2, enter. What is happening? Huh. Suddenly it's going in the right direction that I wanted to. Sometimes you have to look at it, and if it's going the wrong direction, you can just do positive or negative. Turn my sketch visibility off, turn that off, and you can start to see what this will actually look like when it's done. I mean, that's enough to get, this is a good amount of work. Make no mistake. This is a lot of work. But it's a great introduction to showing you, gosh, all these canvas visibility doubling tools. Really, you can just do this. You don't have to see it. That way you don't have to sit there and deal with it. Double click that. And keep going. It's a pretty time-consuming project, but again, if you understand how to use the alignment tools when you're drawing over something and how to square off objects and make the fillets later on with something like this, it's actually a really pretty straightforward design drawing. All right. So again, save it as troops, put your last name on there and period if you want to be a hero about it. Stay in always one sketch as you're tracing over stuff, which is really important. And then again, when you're done with sketching, you're finishing the sketch and using most of the time extrude. There's a lot of different ways to build objects in here. You're just using the most used at this point, and then using canvases or images to actually do this in a faster, more pro way. All right, so have at it. Keep drawing it. I'll teach you how to turn this in class. I'll see you soon, guys.